The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Pizza Ranch studio. I am here with my trusted sidekicks, Mr. Guy. Watch out for that wood, Newcomb, and my main man, Mr. Darren. I'm going to laugh all night, Archer. Here. I'm Johnny Mack. We're sitting here right now. We're enjoying ourselves. Hey, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. If there's ever any wood by you and you're looking to get up and go somewhere, please pick your feet up first and go over the wood. Don't try to go through it. Mr. Newcomb here and his sore pair of ribs can be a very much. He'll agree with me that it's best to go over the wood, not through it, right, Mr. Newcomb?
I'll tell you what. Yeah. Don't even put wood around you when you're trying to do a show and get up. But no, it was. The floor came up pretty fast.
I'm just glad you're all right, but it's one of those I've fallen, I can't get up moments. But I'm glad you're all right. I'm glad you made it through your week-long stay down there at the Fairhaven Cottages. Great place. If you ever got a chance, our listeners and viewers, check out Fairhaven Cottages in Reed Springs. It's a wonderful place. I've stayed there. The people are nice. Ginger and Dwayne McCullough. Good people. But listen, enough about them, gentlemen. How's everyone doing this week? Everyone doing okay? DA, how you feeling, my friend?
Feeling great. Glad to be here. Ready to get it on.
Well, let's do it, gentlemen. I've heard saying that the Christmas and right around that time is the most wonderful time of the year. But I'll tell you what, gentlemen, I feel this week is the most wonderful time of the year, at least one of them. You got the NFL wild card playoff rounds coming up. Super excited about the games on Saturday. As we all know, our Chiefs have the bye week, so they'll be off for Saturday. Seattle versus San Fran and Las Vegas versus Jacksonville. And we'll get into some of the matchups. But, gentlemen, I really say from my point that San Fran is my favorite to win this whole tournament here and be Super Bowl champions. Gentlemen, please let me know. I'm going to start with you, DA. What are your thoughts?
I think they stand a very good chance to win the NFC. I think the winner of Kansas City / Buffalo / Cincinnati wins it all this year. I think the Super Bowl will be played in Atlanta 2 weeks prior to the Super Bowl in that AFC Championship.
Okay, sound good. I don't necessarily I know if I agree with you, but I know Guy probably does because he's a Patrick Mahomes lover. He has a man crush on Mr. Mahomes. What are you thinking there, Mr. New?
Well, I think the NFC. You look at the NFC, and the Eagles are the 1 seed. They're still unsure at quarterback. Is Jalen Hurts going to be able to play? Is he going to be healthy? I think the 49ers probably are the best team there. But then you can't. I don't think you can overlook the Cowboys, and that Cowboy Buccaneer matchup is going to be. I think the winner of that could come out of the NFC because it's just kind of a cluster. But just like Arch said, on the AFC side, I don't think anyone besides those 3 top seeds, the Chiefs, Bills, and the Bengals. I mean, the Jaguars, maybe. They take on the Chargers. I don't think the Chargers are going to get there. The Ravens. Harbaugh has done a heck of a job, and he's probably top 5 coaches in the NFL right now. And so you can't overlook them, and they're a 6 seed coming into this, and they've got the Bengals there. So I don't know. I think Joe Burrow. I'd like to see a rematch of the Chiefs and the Bengals because the Bengals have beat the Chiefs 3 times, in a calendar year. But I think the Super Bowl champions coming out of the NFC. Or I'm sorry, the AFC.
Well, I'm just not really impressed with Kansas City. I'm sorry. I'm more impressed with what Cincinnati They're balanced, more so of a little bit more of a balanced attack. But Kansas City has, they have those horses. So I shouldn't say I'm not impressed. I just don't think you have to have this mojo. Something's going on. Buffalo, and we all want to make sure. Let's make sure that we giving up at day on DeMar Hamlin, who is out of the hospital. I believe if I read correctly today, he's back home. I think he's moving back home. I know he's in the hospital in Buffalo. There's something about that. There's something about those. You need that little extra going into the playoffs. When the Chiefs made their run, they were down all those points for 2 games in a row and came back. And you're going, yeah, it's probably the Chiefs' year. I think Buffalo might have something to say about if the Kansas City Chiefs make it back to the Super Bowl.
Well, you can't overlook McKinnon just got voted the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. He had 9 touchdowns in December. I mean, Player of the Month for December. He had 9 touchdowns at the running back position. This is a guy you didn't even think was going to make the team, when you go back to training camp. I mean, he's 3rd or 4th on the depth chart with Pacheco or whatever in front of him, and then you've got Edwards-Helaire in front of him, and now he's carrying the mail, right now for the Chiefs, and I think that is something that they didn't count on coming in. So, and I think they've got a little chip on their shoulder because of the Tyreek Hill deal. When the year started, the Chiefs can't go back. They lost Tyreek Hill. And they're 14-3. So, we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what, I was concerned for the Chiefs until last weekend. And Johnny, I think you and I talked. I really felt like Las Vegas could get the Chiefs at Las Vegas. And, they got out there and they looked like they were ready for the postseason. They absolutely boat raced Las Vegas, who had been playing some very good football since the quarterback change. So that kind of made me a believer and willing to put down some money on the Chiefs, just from the standpoint that if they found that other gear, and you can tell they're geared up to go with the playoffs. Now, the one thing you never can tell how it's going to affect the team is the bye week, and obviously they're the only team with a bye this coming week in the AFC, and it's going to be interesting to see how they come out of that. But I think it comes down to 3 teams. My own personal opinion. I think being the 1 seed, regardless, even if you are playing the championship game on a neutral field, I still think having Cincinnati and potentially Buffalo face off in that semifinal game, that's huge. That is absolutely huge.
That is, and you use the word boat race, right? That's a phrase that we got to look it up and see that's in the dictionary. I take that means that someone got a swift kick in the behind.
Yes, sir.
And they did. Speaking of kicking someone swiftly and often, I can tell you what, Georgia boat raced TCU. It was not a game. It brings into question, should TCU even been there? It also overshadows. They had a great season. They lost that. They were 1 play away from winning the Big 12 championship, but it's just a different level of speed, a different level of football, a different athlete, an abundance. I believe they said Georgia had 65 4 or 5 stars, and I believe TC had in the mid-20s. Just a different level, DA. What is the playoff system working? Is it broken? I know they're going to move it to, I believe it is 12 teams. DA, is it what made that just such an absolute blowout?
I think there were a lot of anomalies there. Number one, how did Georgia even get to the national championship game when Ohio State had the opportunity to kick a game-winning field goal? That very easily could have been Ohio State. Going into the national semifinals, I think on New Year's Day, I think everybody thought that Michigan was going to do to TCU what Georgia did to TCU. And they just found a way. You can't take away from TCU. I understand what you're saying, Johnny, but TCU made it to the national championship game based on what the NCAA had in place for this particular year. Now, did they back into it? It kind of looked like they did, national championship game. But did they deserve to be there? I believe they did. They did what was required of them. It was it was, we talked a little bit about this off the air. TCU did not look very good in the Big 12 championship game and in the national championship game. The rest of the year, they looked like they were legitimate playoff team, a bowl team. But I don't know if that was just inexperience and not playing in big games. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. It's going to be interesting to see when they move to the new playoff format. Myself personally, I think I would have rather seen 8 teams. I understand the reasoning behind 12. That's 4 more schools, and that's, the NCAA, they're all about that dollar bill. And yep, that's right. And so, it's going to be interesting to see.
Well, you look at what Georgia, they're coming off of a national championship. They go back to back national championship. They had 15 guys get drafted into the NFL off their team last year. TCU had 1, guy get drafted, and they're able to reload. And of course, then you got Stetson Bennett at quarterback, who's older than 5 NFL quarterbacks. Literally. I mean, he's older than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's been in the league 4 years. And he was able to come back and play. And he's not going to be an NFL starting quarterback, I don't think. I mean, he may be carrying a clipboard and making $11,000 a game or something like that, being a backup. But just where it all is, the difference between the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10, it's up front. It's the guys up front that make the difference. When you can get to the quarterback, shut down the run, and then you can create running lanes for your running backs and protect your quarterback, that's where the difference is. TCU's got guys on the outside that can run as fast as anybody, probably at Georgia. They just don't have guys up front. And every change that TCU tried to make, Georgia, they didn't have to make changes because they're in the backfield all night long. And it was just, that was just a plain old-fashioned butt whooping. And there's no way around it. That's the highest or the biggest difference in scores in bowl history, not in championship games, it's in bowl game history to get beat by 58 points. And, it was ridiculous. And I felt when they scored, it was 10-7. I thought, hey, TCU's going to hang. And then it was nothing. They had 29 yards the rest of the game.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I would love to see Bama. I didn't like TCU getting in. I'll end it with this. I didn't like TCU getting in after they lost to Kansas State. And we all saw what Alabama did to Kansas State. I'm sorry. I think the committee just didn't want to see Bama in it. They couldn't justify putting Bama in it with 2 losses. And so the rest of the country had to watch a lopsided championship game. Gentlemen, the college football season is over. Congratulations to the University of Georgia. I say the NFL is starting right now for me. I look forward to this playoffs and then see who's going to go to Super Bowl. And you know what? We'll come back and talk about a little bit about local teams here and how they fared this past week here inside Huddle Up on Missouri Sports Network, live in the Pizza Ranch studio. We'll be right back, everyone. Don't go anywhere.
Everyone thinks their mom makes the crispiest, juiciest, best chicken ever.
No way. The country's best chicken comes from Pizza Ranch.
Hot and ready on the buffet, it's always available, along with your favorite comfort foods, like mashed potatoes and gravy.
Which are never lumpy, like my mom's potatoes.
Sorry, Mom. The country's best chicken, along with mashed potatoes and gravy, are always found on the buffet at Pizza Ranch.
It means the world to me to have a job where I can help farmers. That's what I want to do, is be here for them.
Alan became a counselor in a rough time. He just has a feeling for what we as farmers are going through.
I learned that there's not a given in life. It takes a team, not only us, but Country Financial. And I've learned that there's people that also are going to watch out for us and that care.
Welcome back, everyone, to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Pizza Ranch studio. Gentlemen, let's talk about my favorite team, the Missouri State men's basketball team, the Missouri State Bears. led by Dana Ford. Had a rough game last night. Had a last couple rough games. Belmont handled them pretty well, beat them up pretty bad inside, 74-61, and then lost an overtime game, which they had a chance to win it at the free throw line. Well, if they make their free throws down the stretch, they win that game. But ended up losing by 10 in overtime, 76-66. Kind of let it get away from it in overtime. But Dana still got them defending really well. The offense is still a work in progress, but they're defending really well and keeping themselves competitive in a lot of the games. Guy, you and I both, and all of us are Missouri State fan. I know you and I had a general interest in last night's game. What did you see from the Bears, and what do you look forward to them doing as we look forward toward March Madness?
Well, they got to make their free throws. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You talk about Ridgenall missing that free throw that would have put them up 3 with the play clock being off. Then you either force them into taking a 3 or you foul them, and you win that game if he makes a free throw. And there's 363 Division I men's basketball teams in the country. The Bears rank number 361 in free throw percentage at 59% on the season. Last year, they shot 80%, which is pretty dang good. But they're at 59.9%, just 2 teams behind them in free throw percentage. They've got to knock down their free throws. Now, they're 4-3, in the league. Murray State's 4-3. Drake is 4-3. They're within 2 games. Indiana State, that's who they have next. Indiana State kind of surprisingly leading the league at 6-1 on it, but they've already went to Northern Iowa and won. They've beaten Drake. If they can play up and they can get one here against Indiana State, there's 8 teams right now within 2 games of the lead in this league. The Bears are 8-9 overall. They're 5-2 at home, but they've lost 2 in a row, and that's what's hurt them. And it's from that free throw line. The last 3 games from the free throw line, they're shooting 61%. If they can correct that, then they've got a shot, and it's pretty wide open. And the Missouri Valley Conference as a whole, I think, is down, a little bit talent wise. So I think they've got a chance with the portal and the transfers and things like that. I think they've got a chance, but they're going to have to right that ship from the charity stripe.
DA, you can shoot 69% right now, can't you, my friend? You can shoot 59%. You got 70, and you got 7 out of 10, don't you, DA?
I surely do.
Left-handed.
I surely do.
You can do that left-handed.
Left-handed. DA, the Bears are one of the local teams we look at, but the state school, the flagship school of the state in the center, Columbia, the Missouri Tigers, start off really hot, and I think they're still on a good pace. I mean, you're going to lose some games going through that SEC schedule. They beat Vandy, lose to A&M. What are you seeing in them? Well, how strong do you think they'll finish? I know they go to Florida here on Saturday. How strong do you think they'll be competing in the SEC this year?
I think they'll be just fine. I think the latest bracketology brackets that came out have them as a 5 or 6 seed. And, looking at mid-January where we're at, that's a little bit of wiggle room. And, hey, the SEC, they're not going to lose any power points playing any night of the week from here on out. So they just need to continue to win home games. They need to win the games they're supposed to. And, hey, there's going to be nights like there were against Texas A&M just because of how tough this league is. Texas A&M was ranked to start the season, top 25. And, they took a few on the chin, and you get a hot ranked team that all of a sudden is getting the notoriety that Mizzou is. There's going to be a bullseye on your back. And I think up to this point, Mizzou has played like the hunter. Now they're the hunted. And there's a big change when you become the hunted. And if you can learn to play being hunted, you're just going to be that much better down the line. One thing that there for a while, Kobe Brown was scoring at 30 points a clip each night out. That has tailed off some The one player that I'm really impressed with, all their kids are really working well with each other, but Demoy Hodge has really come out and established himself as a leader on that team. And, both of them got into a little bit of foul trouble the last time they played. And, but I like the direction where this team continues to move toward. It's amazing to me how somebody can come in this type of conference and assemble a team that can go out and compete, not only compete but win. Um, Dennis Gates is on a lot of people's national coach of the year radar right now for very good reason. I mean, his name pops up in every discussion, and there's a great reasoning behind that. He's got Mizzou playing well, so they just need to stay healthy, keep moving forward, and I think they'll be playing in the field of 68. Hopefully in the field of 64 and not playing in the play-in games.
You know
Well,
what? Go ahead, guy.
Well, they've had the benefit. They've played 11 games at home. I mean, they're 13-3. 11 of their games have been at home.
Right.
And the SEC is, you think of it as a football conference, but I mean, you got Alabama, Tennessee, and Texas A&M are undefeated, in the conference right now. And Alabama's 14-2 overall. Tennessee's 14-2 overall. The top three teams in that league have won 5 games in a row. Now they're going to start beating each other up.
Right.
And that's, I think then you may get to an Alabama who is very good. They're going to be, maybe a top 10 team, when the new rankings come out because of what they've done, winning 8 in a row. They've won 5 in a row. They're 8-0 at home. Missouri going on the road, they're just 2-2 in the conference. So it's going to be a long road to hoe. But if, like Arch said, latest projection, they were a 5 seed. Early in the season, they were an 8 seed, but then they went just demolished Illinois. So it'll be a lot of fun to kind of watch them. I think Coach Gates has done a tremendous job. He built a schedule where he knew immediately they were going to get some success, and that's given some guys some confidence.
Sure. Well, kudos to him. Kudos to what they're doing, what they're starting here. And the Bears are having a winning season also. There's several other teams that I want to make sure we recognize here. Guy and DA, I know we had talked about off air a little bit how the Drury ladies team is ranked number 2. And I know there's several other schools around here, gentlemen, that we should kind of recognize them also. Absolutely. That's what we do here. Guys, roll off a couple other teams that you are aware of that need to be recognized for what they're doing right now.
Well, I tell you, at the top of the list, got to visit with Coach Capel, Bert Capel, new coach at Evangel. He was on the national championship team. He's part of our tip-off club meetings. Love to hear him speak when he comes in and talks. But they're nationally ranked. And he's going to, if folks want to come down to the tip-off club, Pizza Ranch, on the 23rd, he's going to bring Coach Jenkins with him. The legendary coach at Evangel. He's going to drive by and pick him up. And Coach Jenkins had been at Evangel 47 years or something like that. When I first got to Evangel, I was a ball boy when I was 8, 9 years old. Coach Jenkins was the baseball coach, the golf coach, and the assistant basketball coach. And he'd been there the entire time. But he's going to be. But I think Coach Capel's done a tremendous job there at Evangel, stepping in and filling in for a legend. You mentioned Drury women, Drury men are they struggled a little bit, and they continue to struggle. Then they may be maybe looking for a new guy, to lead up that program. But that's just it's something there that Drury on the men's side, they don't like to lose. National championships. They've got 2 of them already. They've had some tremendous seasons, and at SBU, we've got, they've had a tremendous year a year ago. I don't know that it started off quite that well this season, and Coach Archer, being a former SBU coach, probably has more of an idea of where they're at. But I really like their players. They got a freshman kid that's a stud. He got to see him, got to sit on the bench during the high school state championships last year, and got to see this kid score 37 points in the first half of that game. So he's he's a player, but certainly looking forward to kind of tracking down and following what the other schools locally are doing, including College of the Ozarks.
Yeah, and on a state level, several teams having great years. One Division I team that we need to speak of is St. Louis University. They are in A10 play right now, and they're off to a very good start as well. At the D2 level on the women's side, Central Missouri State. In the latest polls, have them anywhere. There's 3 polls that come out. I'm sorry, 2 polls that come out along with the regional rankings, and one poll has them second in the nation. The other poll has them at 5th in the nation. Coach Dave Slifer, longtime member of the MIAA. He was coaching at Missouri Western Women way back when I was coaching at SBU Men's, and he just does a tremendous job and has built a national powerhouse up at Central Missouri. And on the men's side, obviously, you have Northwest Missouri State and UMSL. They are both top 5 in the nation, having very good years, and stand a chance to win national titles at the D2 level, provided things keep going the way that they have been. And then at the NAIA level, one team to keep an eye on throughout the state, and that is Central Methodist. They are currently undefeated on the season, and coming back to that word again, boat racing people. But they are ranked number 2 in the latest NAIA national poll. So a lot of good basketball throughout the state.
You know what? I also read a good article this past week about Baptist Bible College and how their athletics has been revived through. So it's a lot of great things going on in this area and in our state. Hey, we need to go out and make sure we support them, read the articles, go to a game, and cheer these student athletes on when we can. Hey, we're gonna take a quick little break here. Once again, you're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside of the Pizza Ranch studio. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're going to finish off with a little Tournament of Champions chatter. Once again, watch out for that wood.
Imagine a bank that goes where you go, creating seamless solutions for every step in your financial journey, allowing you to manage your money the way you want to, with a banking relationship that makes every day extraordinary. Imagine a world full of possibilities, always within reach. Central Bank. We do banking better.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network. We are sitting live inside of the Pizza Ranch studio. My trusted, my sidekicks, my peoples, my brothers from others, Darren Archer, Guy, I've fallen, I can't get up, Newcomb. Hey, what's our final section here of the program? And, our crown jewel, what we consider our crown jewel, what has been said, I guess the numbers dictate or tell the truth, that is the highest attended high school men's basketball tournament in the country. And it's ours. And it's a Tournament of Champions, and it's been around for a while. Guy, you were one of the original individuals that probably first saw the first game, or you probably knew about the first game. DA, I don't know where you are in that. But Guy, tell us about a little bit of history and some of your fondest memories of the Tournament of Champions.
Well, it goes back to 1985 is the year it started. And it was an opportunity where Dr. Edsel Matthews wanted to bring in a special tournament coming into the city of Springfield. Went to the folks at Bass Pro, got them to sponsor it. There were 7 local teams in the tournament, and then they brought in a Christ the King out of New York to play. And Glendale, their coach at that time, who is the radio announcer now for the Bears basketball, was the Glendale head coach at that time. And he told Dr. Matthews, he said, if you're bringing in Christ the King, we want to play him. We want to play Christ the King because it's not guaranteed, if you pull out a bracket that we're going to get to play them. So we want to play them in the first round. And so that was the very first game ever played at Hammond Student Center, 1985, was Glendale versus Christ the King out of New York. Christ the King has now kind of been an every other year team. Now, it's been 3 years since they've been here because of COVID. Kept them out a year. But Coach Arbitello has brought back his Christ the King team to the tournament. My fondest memory, and Archer's not going to like this, but Bolivar played in the tournament, and it was at 98 or 99. You got to
98.
go. 98.
Yeah,
1998. Coach Archer brings a team into the tournament with Division I signee Scott Breakboo, who had committed to Missouri State University, and Steve Alford, at that time at Missouri State University, and they take on a team out of Florida with Teddy Dupay. Was on that team, and you had read the articles about Dupay. He's averaging 51 points a game coming into it. Went to the game. I'm sitting about 6th, 7th row. We're watching this Florida team. They're warming up, and we're trying to pick because they got the warm up. They got their jerseys on, so we can't see their numbers. So we don't know which one Teddy Dupay is, and we're trying to pick out who we think Dupay is, and we didn't get it right. And when they announced Teddy Dupay and this guy come walking out, running out like with his duck feet, running out, and then he put up 63 freaking points in that game.
58.
58. Oh, that's right, because Breakville had 42 and it was 100 points when they shook hands. Right. You're right, 58 points in that, and they get double teamed. And I mean and Bolivar had a lot more than Breakville. Had John Katrash was on that team. Johnny Hacker was on that team. There was a Ruth, I think, on that team.
Yes,
at Bolivar, and they couldn't do anything to stop. I mean, he was pulling up just across half court and just draining threes, and it was, maybe 102-99 or something. I mean, it was the highest scoring tournament game of the tournament for sure. But that's probably my fondest memory. I know Anthony Peeler had a big game in the tournament where he scored 30-something points, 28 points, 30 points in the second half to bring his, Paseo team back, in the second half. And he was playing against Todd Day, I believe, in that game. So there are some tremendous memories of some great athletes that came through. Poplar Bluff brought a team up one year that's got a young man that goes from All-American at North Carolina. And they didn't win the tournament that year. I think that's the last Springfield school to win the tournament. I think Kickapoo won that in 2003. So there are a lot of great memories of it. But it was always good to see the Bolivars and the Hartvilles, get to participate in that tournament. The Kickapoos, the Glendales, get to participate. And I think maybe they've went now where it's just one local school. And you really can't count Link as a local school. They're out of Branson, but there's nobody, on that team that was born in Missouri. So I think getting away from that is a little disappointing, but the numbers are going to go up. They're still going to be the highest drawing tournament, in the country every year because they've got Bass Pro behind it, which is a national name. They've got, ESPN Plus is, putting the games on the air where you can watch them. They got the Great Southern Bank Dunk Contest on Saturday. There'll be a lot of folks looking forward to that. But it's a tremendous tournament. It's something that people look forward to, throughout the entire year, much like maybe even the Blue and Gold. I mean, that's a tournament I look forward to. But this is the arena where there's going to be 12,000 people in there. It's going to be something special.
Yeah, DA, I echo your sentiment about needing more local teams. That's something I don't want to drop. and don't want. I want to kind of make sure we stay on top of that. If I could ever do something to get in someone's ear, we do need more local teams. I was at that Teddy Dupay game. I did not know my good friend Darren Archer then. My thought when I left that was this little white kid could have had 70. I'm like, he could have had 70. What you might not remember, but DA, I know you'll recall, is that they also had another University of Florida Society of football player. I believe his name was Ernest Graham. Ernest Graham, who had a pretty good career at the University of Florida as a running back.
And the NFL. Played in the NFL for 12 years.
Played NFL. So they were stacked, but that's one of my fondest memories, being on campus and going over there and going, all right, I'm going to watch some of these guys play. And kind of remember being a St. Louis guy. I remember Larry Hughes kind of went behind his back when they played Parkview and went down and had a monster dunk. It's just a fun time of the year to see these individuals that come from all over that you might not ever see play again, except on a TV show or excuse me, on a TV televised game. So, DA, what are some of your memories of the Bass Pro Tournament of Champions?
Oh, it was a great experience. I mean, from when they announced the brackets, prior to Christmas, showing up that morning for breakfast at Bass Pro Shops, and then they treat every team. They roll out the red carpet for every team. It was just a really neat experience. We got to play 3 games in 3 days, and played every team. Every team that we played was from out of state. We played Straight Jesuit out of Houston, Texas. We played West Monroe, Louisiana, and then we played Teddy Dupay and Company from Mariner High School in Florida. So great experience for our guys. Wouldn't trade it for anything. Some of the best basketball memories as a coach that I have.
I hear you, my friend. And guys, some of these gentlemen that are playing, I know I just saw a tweet that Carmelo Anthony's in the house. So we got one of the most known, a future Hall of Famer here in our piece of heaven here in the Ozarks. Guy, what are some of these other gentlemen, the kids, the athletes, where are they going to be heading and playing ball next year? Where can we watch some of them play next year collegiately?
Well, I tell you, it starts with Link Academy. They've got so many kids are D1 commits. Elliot Cadu, he's a 2024 graduate. He's committed to North Carolina. Aaron Rose, a sophomore. He's got offers from North Carolina, Mizzou, Kansas, and Texas. Jacoby Walter is a senior this year. He's going to go to Baylor next year. BJ Davis Ray, who is a sophomore. He's got offers from Kansas, Mizzou, Texas, and Auburn. Ryan Forrest, who's a senior for Link Academy. He's already committed to Memphis. Corey Chest, he's a junior. He's a senior. Corey Chest Jr. is a senior, and he's an LSU commit. Cade Phillips is, a senior this year. He's committed to Tennessee. Jacob Cole, a senior, Oklahoma commit. Tyler McKinney is a junior. He's got offers from Cincinnati, Tennessee, Michigan State, Xavier, Ohio State. And Cameron Carr, whose dad is the assistant coach at Drury. He's a junior, and he's committed to Tennessee. So then you got Sunrise Christian, who's ranked 4th right now nationally in the country. And they've got Leighton Blocker, who's a senior. He's an Arkansas commit. Scotty Middleton, who's an Ohio State commit. Mattis Buzelis. He has already decided he's not even going to college. He's going right to the NBA G League. Myra Little, he's a Baylor commit, and it just goes on and on. There could be 30 guys playing in this tournament that will be in the NBA.
Yeah.
Bartlett High School out of Tennessee. You look at it, you got Javar Daniel. He's a senior. He's got offers from UT Martin and Bradley. Jack Shackelford is offers from Central Arkansas. Calvary Christian out of Florida. They've got commits to Memphis, offers to SMU, Jackson State, St. John's, and you got Christ the King, who's already won tonight. As we're recording this, they got a UCLA commit, Brandon Williams, on their team. Dwayne Pierce got offers from Mizzou, Florida State, St. John's, St. Rita, out of I believe out of Chicago, Illinois. James Brown, he's a junior. He's committed to North Carolina. Morris Johnson is a junior committed to Illinois. So they're just it's just stacked and stacked and stacked on top of just the talent that is available. This is probably the most talented field in the history of the Tournament of Champions, and part of that is because there's just one local school, so you're able to bring in, these other schools that have more kids that have committed, to it. And you got a Staley, who's the number one ranked team in the state of Missouri in Class 6. They got an Iowa State commit, a Colorado State commit. I got a sophomore that's already been offered by Ole Miss, and then. Then Kickapoo, they've got two guys on the team. Braden Shorter, who's a senior, he's committed to Washburn. And Shorter, I don't know if you remember the name, Brad Shorter, is the head basketball coach at Carl Junction, and it's his nephew that is on this team. And his dad, Braden's dad, was an outstanding pitcher at Missouri State University. Big lefty, got drafted, but back in the area. Harrison Donig has got an offer from Evangel. He's also a senior. So you have an opportunity to see a couple local kids, but you've got probably 10 of the top 25 kids in the country in their grade playing in this tournament. And if you want to go out and see some tremendous basketball and guys play above the rim, here's your opportunity.
I agree with you. Sounds like, some of those individuals you're definitely going to be seeing suit up in the NBA here very shortly. Go out and check them out. It's going to be an exciting weekend. You can get in there, get your seat, get your popcorn ready, and watch a little Tournament of Champions. Okay, gentlemen? I look forward to it myself. Gentlemen, I want to say it's been a good show. We're going to end it with a little round robin here of what you're thinking. I can always start it out. What I've been thinking about is the NFL playoffs, trying to see what my San Francisco 49ers are going to do. And I've been thinking that I want to wish our viewers and everyone out there a happy Martin Luther King Day. It's celebrated on that next Monday, the 16th. What a great man who stood for equality and justice and for all individuals, and was a catalyst in the civil rights movement and has allowed this country to move forward for better race relations and just individual prosperity for each and every one. So happy Martin Luther King Day to our listeners and viewers. Let's go around the room here and start off with you, Mr. Newcomb, and we'll let DA in. What you thinking, buddy?
Well, I tell you what, it's we're about 67 days from pitchers and catchers report. And,
we're not that far away.
Yeah, we're not even that far away.
Yeah.
And, Matt Holliday's already resigned as the Cardinals bench coach. He hadn't had the job that long, but he resigned. Joe McEwing is the new bench coach for the Cardinals. So, looking forward to that. You wake up this morning and it's like a blizzard outside, and you think, okay, at least baseball's right around the corner. And so I'm thinking about that. I love being outside. There's nothing better than sitting outside on the porch listening to a baseball game. And so I'm looking forward to that. But we're also just about 6 weeks away from, state basketball state championships, and who's going to make a run. What teams, men and women, have got that run in them. Is it, on the women's side, is it going to be a West Plains? Does Scotty Womack, can he do it one more time? Is it Kickapoo again? And Bolivar and Glendale are playing tonight as we speak, and they're having incredible seasons for what they've done in the past. And they've got Glendale with a new coach, with Matt Powell taking over there, whose wife just went into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. Casey Garrison Powell went in, who also played for Coach Archer. So there's just a lot of things going on right now as things start to wrap up with the winter seasons. You've got wrestling and all those things coming to an end. But looking forward to the days are getting longer. Now the sun is out a little bit longer now. Every minute there's more daylight. And it's something I'm looking forward to. And then it's NFL playoffs, and the Chiefs going to be able to do it again.
I'll wrap it up. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm ready for some NCAA basketball, along with NFL football. We have a lot of conference games starting really to get heated up and underway. And then obviously that leads into my favorite time of year, conference time, conference playoff time, and who makes the NCAA tournament. And then obviously the granddaddy of them all, the NCAA tournament. Love it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Gentlemen, I like the way y'all think. Hey, everyone. Thank you once again for listening to Huddle Up here on Missouri Sports Network. Hey, we hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any comments or anything, leave them in the section below. And if you want to follow us, DA, tell them exactly where they can go to follow us.
YouTube, Missouri Sports Network. Facebook, Missouri Sports Network. And on Twitter, at Missouri_sports. We'd love for you to follow along.
Follow us. And once again, before we get out of here, I'm always going to say this. Watch out for that tree. All right, gentlemen. All right. See y'all next week. We're going to be a little short hiatus. We'll catch you next week. And you've been listening to the Missouri Sports Network. Our show, we call it Huddle Up. Thank you once again, everyone.